Back on the show, you know who he is, Nate Jennerman, who's going to be taking on Super Sam Toomer coming up here at LFA 29 on December 15th. Nate, what's going on? How are you?
Good, James. I'm doing well. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's good to talk to you again, and we were talking a little bit off air. I know you got a little bit of a Thanksgiving in, a little bit difficult, though, with the weight cut and everything else, but I got to ask, did you put any stuff in the freezer, and are you going to have it after the fight?
Yeah, nothing in the freezer, but I got to have my favorite. I had like one scoop of green bean casserole. The turkey's really lean, so I got to have that. A little bit of stuffing, but not much. I'm just going to be eating some of that stuff. I mean, Christmas is coming up right after.
I was going to say, yeah. You can indulge at Christmas time, right? Because you'll have the fight over with and everything like that. It kind of works out pretty good. So
yeah, I'll be able to eat a lot then, so it'll be all good.
Excellent, man. Last time you and I talked was before LFA 20. Of course, you fought Bobby Moffett in that one, and I know things didn't go your way in that one, but you always learn more from a loss than a win. What did you sort of take away from that performance?
Yeah, I learned a ton in that fight. Going into the fight, I was super confident. And honestly, I still think that, I'm the better fighter, but fight night, I got in there and I was afraid of the takedown the moment the fight started. You could see it in my striking. I didn't throw anything. I was backing up the whole time. It just wasn't my fight. I didn't fight my fight at all. I got in there, no confidence, and he took advantage of it. He was showed up that night. He was ready to go, and he took it to me. He took me down whenever he wanted. He stayed on top whenever he wanted. The only thing that he couldn't do was sub me or break me like he said he was going to.
Well, and that, that was a big fight as well, for LFA and everything like that. Do you feel like in some ways, having gone through that already, you can kind of bring that into this fight knowing, hey, I'm not going to freeze up again. I'm going to be as confident as I can. You kind of take that from that fight into this fight?
Definitely. Yeah, that's one thing. I just got to get over that stuff. And normally in the cage, I'm confident as hell. But this time I was confident in the locker room, and then I got into the cage and started shaking. I don't know what it was. Okay. Normally I'm just about ready to die from nerves in the back, and the moment I start walking out, I'm like, okay, this is it. And then this time it was the opposite. It was weird.
Good stuff. Well, here we are. You're fighting Sam Toomer. He's got a great record, the 11-1 record. How do you feel like you match up against him?
I think I match up against him well. I know he's a striker, so it'll be good to get in there with somebody that'll stay standing. I like to stand. It's where I like to do my dirty work. I mean, I know I've got a lot of submissions, but if you go back and watch, a lot of them are from transitions and dropping people, and so I like to be in the stand-up. That's where I want to be. It'll be a fun fight. And like you said, he's 11-1. His only losses to the Ultimate Fighter alum and UFC vet Justin Lawrence, who's now in Bellator as well. So his only loss is to a super legit fighter. So putting another loss on there from me puts me way up in the ranks. So
I was going to say you can steal some of that thunder with the win here. I mean that's sort of the beauty of this matchup. I think, anyways. I think for either of you guys, it's a great win and looks good on the resume. So I definitely can't, definitely must like that. Now, you training camp. One of the luxuries I'm sure you have is that a lot of your teammates are on this card. How nice is it to kind of prepare at the same time when you guys are all fighting together?
Yeah, it is nice to fight with everybody on the same card. We got 5 guys fighting that night. Chico Camus is the main event. Cam Olsen is on the card. And then 2 of our amateurs, Brian Batista and Laura Sanchez, who come up and they train with the pros all the time. So it's been great working with everybody to be able to get ready for the fight. We've got a lot of guys peaking all right now because we've got fights this Friday, this Saturday, next Friday, all the same night as me. And then we've got 3 events the next night too, where we've got guys going. And it's just a really busy time for Rufus Sport, and everybody's peaking.
Yeah. And how is your corner going to work for that? Who's going to be cornering you in this fight?
I know Gerald Mearshardt's going to be there, and I believe Scott Cushman is going to be coming out with us and then flying out to Nebraska the next night for Rafael Stotts.
Oh, wow. And then I know also, I know John McDessie, I think, is also fighting the same night as you as well out in Winnipeg. So
yeah.
I know he's been training with you guys. So that's good. You kind of have,
I think he'll be Saturday day.
Yes, sorry, you're right. Yeah. He is Saturday, yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that works with the corner and all that. We talked about the weight cut. It sounds like everything's going well. I mean, you survived Thanksgiving. You're here and everything, so it sounds like everything's going great.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Everything's going well. Fight camp's going great. switched up a lot of things, so it's been really nice.
Excellent. And how do you see this fight unfolding on the 15th?
I see it playing out in the stand-up because I don't think Sam's going to really try to take it down to the ground. So if I want to take it down to the ground, maybe I'll try to do it, but we'll see. I'd like to see it unfold in the stand-up. Everybody likes to see a big knockout. I'm going to go with my history and say that I'm probably going to get a sub.
Okay.
Just because for some reason I always end up wrapping up somebody's neck. So if I grab the sub, I'll take it home. It's all good with me. If I get the knockout, I'll love that too. But I think I'm going to go out there. I think I'm going to finish Sam in the second round. That's where I see it unfolding.
Excellent. And if all goes well here, you get an impressive win, you get the finish. Are you looking at, contender series? Are you looking at maybe trying to get a title shot in LFA? What's sort of the game plan, assuming all goes well in this one?
Yeah, assuming all goes well, I love to get right back into the cage as soon as possible. Obviously, this would be my last fight of 2018. Yeah. Fighting on the 15th doesn't really leave much room in 17.
Unless you're Donald Cerrone, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'd be down for it, but more than likely 2018 will come back. 17 has been a good year. Other than my loss to Bobby, it really was a great year for me. So I think, winning this fight, I'll take that momentum into 2018. And if the Contender Series calls, we'll go there. I'd love to get that LFA belt added to the collection and bring Chico's going to bring the first LFA belt to Rufus Sport. I'd like to be the second one.
Yeah, that's awesome. How's you watching any TV right now? Any Netflix, anything like that?
Right now, I want to start watching the Netflix Punisher series. Haven't quite started it yet, but my wife and I have been watching Hunter x Hunter lately. We've been binge watching that. We're pretty much halfway through. It's 148 episodes, but we're getting close to halfway.
That's good. You're getting in the time, which is great. And everyone's got to check out this fight. It's LFA 29 coming up here December 15th, live on Access TV. Nate, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter, at Nasty Nate MMA. Instagram, it's the same thing. Facebook, Nasty Nate Jennerman is the fan page, and then my public profile, if you want to follow it, it's just Nate Jennerman. Just shout out to a lot of the teammates that have been helping me out. Paul Felder, I've been working with him a ton for his fight this Saturday against Charles Oliveira. Been working with Craig Eckelberg, Armandale Cameron, Emmanuel Sanchez, CM Punk, JP St. Louis, Rafael Stotts, Brian Batista, Chico Camus, John McDessie a lot, Josh Marsh, Jordan Griffin. I've been working with all these guys quite a bit. And then, just shout out to Gerald Mearshart fighting this Friday, Ryan James fighting this Friday, Paul and Sergio on Saturday. And then we've got a lot more fights coming up in the next 2 weeks. My coaches have been helping me out a ton. Scott Cushman, Duke Rufus, Daniel Wanderlei, Joe Nichols, and I just hired a strength and conditioning coach, Jake Frias. He's been helping me get way better outside of MMA stuff, just with my explosion and strength, all sorts of stuff like that. So then just quick shout out to my sponsors, Combat Corner, Raw Dog here in Sheboygan, Champs Sports Bar in Sheboygan. If you don't have Access TV at your house, go to Champs, watch the fight there with everybody else in Sheboygan, and you'll have a great time. Advanced Spine Care and Wellness, Grit Mouth Guards, Iowa Bison Company, Three Sheeps Brewing here in Sheboygan, and 1740 Beer Bong. These guys have been backing me up, so can't give them enough love.